Good morning, my dear subscribers. You're welcome to Sunlight Grant channel, where we give you the latest of the UAAG disbursement funding. In case you're new on my channel, please don't forget to click on the notification bell and subscribe. In case we drop new videos, you'll be highly updated
for most current and detailed content and information needed. You are welcome. If you are new, kindly subscribe and press the notification button for onward information. UAAG grant to be disbursed centrally or by the CEOs. Pay attention to this information.
I trust you are having an exciting and fulfilled day today ahead of the meeting between the UAAG country director and the NGO partners. Today's session is quite an important one, especially as it aims to address two critical subjects of urgent NGO and subscribers' importance. The first concern is the circulating voice note holding that the CEOs are not going to disburse the UAAG grant, that the grant is going to be disbursed centrally. Then the second subject we will address is the essence of the meeting tonight between the UAAG country director and the NGO partners. Let's quickly address the first concern of this session, which is the meeting between the UAAG country directors and the NGO CEOs tonight. Across the WhatsApp and Telegram platforms, we are seeing agitations and recentive voices from the audience of grant subscribers asking why there should be a meeting between UAAG and the NGO on the 28th of February rather than a disbursement broadcast. Everyone expects that the meeting schedule should hold that the country director is going to give a broadcast tonight. Going by the previous experiences, some are already saying that in every month end when you see meeting being scheduled between the UAAG and the partners, it is obvious there is not going to be disbursement in that month. A few weeks ago, the AGPGN and the country director in a joint meeting on Telegram assured the grant subscribers to maintain peace in the ecosystem and shut down platforms that disbursement is definitely going to take place in February. Now today is 28th of February 2024. There is a meeting. Is it going to be the same meeting of adjournment of disbursement, or there's going to be a broadcast? I think since the meeting is taking place tonight, everyone needs to be patient and hear directly from the country director of UAAG, since we don't actually can predict his thoughts or intent in the meeting. It might actually be a broadcast that is coming to deliver to the masses. Already this month we have seen the clearance issued to NGO CEOs in the app. We have seen several developments all channeling towards disbursement. The meeting, for me, I think aims at addressing issue concerning the MOU signing by the NGO CEOs, then the disbursement template which you as a grant subscriber will hear for the first time the entitlement of the NGO, the grant bundle heads and the beneficiaries. It might even be when the country director is going to give a broadcast. We never can tell. So let everyone be patient until after the meeting. We can then complain of why there is delay or shift in the disbursement as was long anticipated. Patience is key at this moment. Now let's address the most important subject of concern in this session, which is the circulating viral V-note of UAAG disbursing this grant centrally. Listen to the V-note yourself before we can deliberate on it.
Listen carefully to this voice note. This feedback is from insiders in the UAAG. That disbursement of this grant will be done centrally. NGO CEOs will not disburse to their beneficiaries anymore. That is one. Two, that CEOs will benefit in the same amount like beneficiaries. If beneficiaries are receiving 300,000 naira, so NGO CEOs will receive 300,000 naira too. NGO CEOs, wake up or you become the heaviest casualty in this grant. How can the NGO of UAAG doesn't allow CEOs to disburse? And again, they don't give them the entitlement. They allow them to benefit as mere beneficiaries. You deny them two things. Deny them disbursement and you deny them their entitlement. NGO CEOs, wake up or you become the heaviest casualty in the greedy antics of the UAAG and AGPGN. After their whole fight, the CEOs are now the sacrificial lamb. After the whole struggle, the whole expenses, the code banning to onboard in the app, the support, the whole expenses since the era of Sam, Theobarth, Telpacon, Golden Bridge, now UAAG want to disburse to CEOs as mere beneficiaries. CEOs, wake up or you become the heaviest loser in this game.
You have heard the part that said the grant will be disbursed centrally. Now, let's critically look at the possibility of the grant belonging to a non-governmental institution being disbursed by a certain body centrally. Who is this body that is going to disburse this grant centrally? Is it the CBN or the government? One specific NGO CEO on one of the platforms saying that government has taken over the grant and will disburse centrally. How on earth can government intervene with the activities of a non-governmental body? We are not actually saying that government doesn't have a role to play in the disbursement of grants or in the activities of non-governmental bodies in Nigeria. But the role of government is purely supervisory and regulatory in nature, not taking control, not absolute control of the activity of non-governmental organizations. For example, since grant is in the vault of the CBN for disbursement, it is the responsibility of the government to checkmate or regulate or appropriate this amount to be disbursed from the NGO account to the recipient account. For example, if the grant is to the tune of trillions of naira and the government sees that if, say, 3 trillion is disbursed into circulation in a country that is already staggering or suffering inflation, if government sees that such amount will worsen the already staggering economic state, government can decide to say, if your beneficiaries are supposed to receive 3 million naira, disburse 300,000 or 500,000 or 1 million or 1.5 million to your recipient. How many recipients do you have? Government will look into the sum of 1 million naira times, say 50 million recipients, if it holds an effect on the economy or it actually strengthens or stimulates production in the economy. That is how government work to supervise or regulate the activities of NGOs in a country, not taking control of such NGO activity. Again, when we say that government doesn't have control over the activities of the NGO, that again is quite wrong, because the constitution of the non-governmental organization is subservient or under the constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It doesn't override or supersedes the constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It is likened to a law made by the local government legislative council or the state house of assembly, calling for autonomy of the local government, whereas the Constitution of Nigeria doesn't permit same. This scenario is likened to the state of the local government autonomy, where local government council made bylaws calling for the allocation of council to go directly to the local government, calling for local government autonomy, or the House of Assembly making laws at the state calling for local government autonomy or funds of the council to go straight to the council account, whereas the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria doesn't permit disbursement of funds to local government account. Until the Senate or the House of Rep pass a law that removes the former clause which states that the state government and the local government will operate a joint account for disbursement of the allocations of council. If that particular clause is not removed, is not expunged from the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, then whatever law that is made by the local government, legislative council, and the state House of Assembly stands invalid. In this case, even if the UAAG have their constitution to disburse any grant that comes into it covers to its beneficiary or recipient, their role cannot supersede the Constitution of Nigeria regulating the activities of such a grant. Their own constitution doesn't in any way contravene or object the already existing constitutional provision in the Constitution of Federal Republic of Nigeria on the disbursement of grants by non-governmental organizations to institutions or recipients in the country. For example, if the Constitution states that the financial institutions or official government financial bodies shall regulate the activities of NGO in disbursement, financial institutions like the Nigerian Financial and Intelligence Unit, NFIU, and every other financial institution that must supervise the activities or disbursement of grants, the grant handler or non-governmental organization cannot embark on disbursement of grants by their own constitutionally driven provisions. Therefore, government in larger extent regulates or supervises the activities of non-governmental organizations in disbursement of grants to its recipients. So in this case of UAAG, we still expect there are influence of government in their activities. But going by the already hard-beaten economic state, we expect that whatever regulations or appropriations that the government is going to effect on these grants will be to the benefit of the recipient, especially as it will promote the expansion of businesses or stimulation of the economic growth and stability in this period of economic recession or inflation in the country. Therefore, going by the claims in the V-note that the grants will be disbursed centrally, the first question you should ask yourself is, who is going to disburse the grants centrally? Because it is not in the control of federal government to disburse grants of non-governmental organizations. Government only supervises. Is it the CBN that will disburse it centrally or the NFIU? Because this grant belongs to the UAAG. Therefore, it is the UAAG that is going to disburse the grant. Therefore, the claims in the voice note that the grant is going to be disbursed centrally, for me, is purely misleading because governments have no control over direct disbursement of grants belonging to non-governmental organizations. They can only play supervisory and regulatory role. If the grant is to be disbursed centrally, then it is purely going to be disbursed by the UAAG. Therefore, the CEOs should discountenance such information as it is purely misleading in entirety and rather wait to hear from the country director of UAAG. It's purely a rumor for now. If the grant is going to be disbursed centrally, then it's purely going to be carried out by the UAAG or the AGPGN. And I don't see why the AGPGN or the UAAG will bother themselves in taking over the responsibilities that are supposed to be conducted by the NGO CEOs. Meanwhile, it's still a rumor until it is proven otherwise. On the second part of the B note, stating that NGO CEOs will be entitled to the sum of 300,000 naira like beneficiaries.